All right, let's move on to scene stealers. These are people that we actually did like. Who was our well before
Honorable
we
mentions.
get into scene stealers? Let's throw up the board and
Ooh, this is,
who the hell was our
what have
first?
we done?
Yeah, it's all blur. It's already blurring this season. We opened up the season with
Vanilla Sky,
Vanilla Sky, and that of course went to
Penelope Cruz. Not Penelope, no, Cameron Diaz.
Cameron Diaz. That's right. Cameron Diaz is
Yep.
on the board, and
Yes.
then Tropic Thunder, of course, Robert Downey
Lincoln
Jr.
Osiris.
And who is going to join Robert Downey Jr. and Cameron Diaz on the board? Who is
Honorable
the
mentions
scene
first?
stealer?
You wanna go honorable first or me?
I got two honorable mentions.
I only have one, but you go first.
All right, my first honorable mention goes to Jamie Foxx, because I think his ability to go from a pleading, desperate victim in the flashbacks to the calm, cool, collected vigilante that we see in the present was, I mean, you see an awesome range in his performance just in one role. He's playing both the victim and the superhero vigilante, and almost like the larger than life mythical figure. But he's also so human, and he did it effectively. I think he did it better than Will Smith would have done it.
My honorable mention was going to go to Samuel L. Jackson. It's not, though, only because it's certain times where you want to play a role. And to me, like I say, what he did, he was just great Sam. This was Sam being great. See, Sam's gonna be great, and don't get me wrong. If you want to ask me one of Sam Jackson's best roles, now you start talking about Long Kiss Goodnight and The Negotiator, where I've seen different ranges of different stuff like that. So okay, yeah, talk to me about it. But this, and don't get me wrong. Yes, I'm not gonna ignore the fact it's hard to ask a person to portray a slave. But if anybody's gonna do it, and like you just said, it's another Tuesday. So you're just that You're Stacks from
It's the Tom Cruise effect.
Yeah.
He's cursed because we already expected great from him. So
Correct.
It's like,
So
I'm not impressed.
Yeah, no, I was impressed, but I wasn't overly impressed.
Yeah.
Honorable mention goes to Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
what he
so
did with
it's-
this, because I truly felt he did feel uncomfortable, but yeah, you don't get to say that around us.
Yeah.
And I know he didn't mean anything by it, but I'm just glad the realest in the room pulled him over to the side, like, hey, we've been at this goddamn table scene for 3. You better get comfortable saying this
Now, Leonardo, you old decrepit
bastard.
bastard.
I need you to say nigga like I need a rock in my shoe.
My other honorable mention goes to Christoph Waltz, because I couldn't imagine anyone bringing that eccentric, against the grain character to life with the effectiveness that he did. I love the way he acts in a way that was completely unheard of at that time, and he does it so casually, almost like I feel like he enjoys having Django as his partner because of the response it elicits in everybody that they encounter. And I love the fact that he refuses to give any credit to the notion that there's any absurdity in a white man being seen or being friendly with a black man. He just approaches it every time like, what is the big deal? What are you guys so uppity about? Like, what is the problem? And he doesn't even really do that much. He just is just completely, he acts like he's completely bewildered by their bewilderment, which is, he does it well.
All right, so with that being said, all right, you got our honorable mentions, and we're going to go now into who we chose to hopefully grace our screen. So I am going to go with the gentleman by the name of Christoph Waltz. The reason why I went with him is you hit on a lot of points there. Number one, the reason why I hit on it is because before the man took the role, the man just told the director that he would only do it if it could be done one way. And furthermore, before the man even said that he turned it down because he felt the role too much mirrored what he was. You're not even asking me to act.
Mm-hmm.
You're asking me to get a paycheck. Well, in Tarantino, if you ever just want me to be me, I'll do it. But to me, first and foremost, you got to know the subtext of a lot of Germans came over from Germany when they came to the United States, and they were a big part of the anti-slavery, anti-racism movement. I'm not saying no Germans didn't come over who weren't racist. I'm just simply saying, like, they were the ones that come here like, nah, man, hard working is hard working.
Yeah.
You know, like, what the is going on? Like, this is working harder than you because you're holding them back. You know what I'm saying? Like, this weird like that, man. So, to me, what he did with his character on so many different levels, I saw compassion. And here's the thing about it. Again, what you said, he was so cool throughout the whole movie, but the one thing he couldn't stand at the end, man, was that beast. There was one animal in this film. It wasn't a horse boy. It wasn't the pigs. It wasn't the slaves. It was Calvin Candy.
Mm-hmm.
It was truly him. And he, even his hair when he's around Calvin, he's just it's getting crazy now because he's looking at like this motherfucker got all these books and I know he ain't read none of these motherfuckers. He is losing it right in front of us, and it's like, damn. He's like, I'm sorry, because you got to understand that he probably knew, like, damn, you know what, I'm sorry. I'm finna have to kill this motherfucker, but you know what? I probably up everything we just did. The 12th hour, Jamie's not gonna get out. I'm sorry. Like, listen, out of everything I've done for you, I'm only asking for one thing, and I don't think you're gonna be mad at me. I need to kill this motherfucker.
Yeah, he's an actual intellectual having to endure somebody pretending to be an intellectual.
And again, like you said, and at every given point, he went, like you just said, he went into each situation with not saying that, not even trying to be overly not racist. He gave everybody an opportunity for them not to be racist. He only responded to the environment they was in. But if removing
nothing to see here.
Yeah, but removing how his character was written, it just like he really, even when the scene at the beginning to where they go into the bar and they get a beer. And normally you see this in All Americans, like when they give you a beer, they give it to you the fuzz. He slices it. It's just his mannerism. He was, man. Listen, what he did with this character, bro, it was I wouldn't have wanted to see anybody else do it, and it really made me feel something to where I never had read his biography before, but after seeing the Django Unchained years ago, I had to know who he was, and I went back and looked at his whole filmography.
Yeah, and to see like the kind of character he played in Inglourious Basterds, to go from like the epitome of evil to somebody that's a borderline saint, that's range too.
Yes, well, it was backwards though because the Django then Inglourious Basterds.
Yeah.
So, but either way, range is range. Range is a spectrum, man.
I gotta give it to Leonardo Dicaprio almost for the exact opposite reason why you didn't want to give it to him. Because to understand how uncomfortable he was playing that character and to still see the results of him committing 110% to a character that we know it's been documented, he didn't, like, these shoes weren't comfortable for him to fill, yet he still crammed his feet in them and ran a marathon in them. So I thought that in itself was impressive. And that on the page, like, I would love to just read the script before ever seeing the movie and see how I felt about the character of Calvin Candy, because on the page I could only imagine that it is just a villainous, just somebody that you find no enjoyment in at all. It's just hate. I just despise this motherfucker. And Leonardo DiCaprio manages to take that character that is easily despised, and you're still despising him, but you're entertained by him in the exact same moments. And I think that speaks to Leonardo DiCaprio's talent to be able to do that with a character. So
here we are.
I'm going to make this really easy because I was actually on the fence between Christoph Waltz and Leonardo DiCaprio. They kept switching from honorable mention to number one throughout the whole thing. I would say I'd throw my hat in the ring for Christoph Waltz.
The first German on the board. Give him a prize. Yes. Hey, Christoph. Hey, you earned it, you fat bastard.
I'm surprised you didn't do your salute.
I don't know what you're talking about. I even me saying that now you bring it back up. But hey, Leonardo, I'm pretty sure you get another shot.
Oh yeah, that's what the Academy's been telling him for like this.
Oh my God,
his whole career.
Jesus
always
Christ.
Nominated.
Always a bridesmaid.
Always going home empty.
Never a bride. All right, Dave, what do we have next?
Before we go on, let us know in the comments who your favorite characters or actors, artists were in Django Unchained.
Why don't you subscribe? It'll last longer.